Okay. मेथड्स का यूज कब करना है, कब करना है गाइस हमें? when we want to develop, we want to implement some logic, we are writing some logic in our class body, then we use the functions. Function is a special type of a block which is used to write the logic, and when those logic will get executed, when we call the methods. ओके तो क्या होता है गाइस कि फंक्शंस हम कब यूज करते हैं जावा प्रोग्रामिंग में, जबकि हमें कोई बिजनेस लॉजिक डेवलप करना है, इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, तो उस लॉजिक को लिखने के लिए मेथड्स का यूज करते हैं. वी कांट राइट एनी बिजनेस लॉजिक डायरेक्टली इनसाइड द क्लास बॉडी. For that purpose we use the functions, and when those functions will get execute, वो सारे functions कब execute होते हैं guys? When we call the functions. Okay, there are two types of functions in Java programming. One is a non-static and second one is the static functions. Before that, you are getting this one guys. We are writing a declarative statement within the directly class body, but any business logic can we write directly inside the class body? No, we can't write directly any business logic inside the class body. For that, we use the methods. Method is a special type of a block which is used to write the logics. Right? There are two types of functions in our Java program. Two types of methods in Java programming. One, second, static. Okay. Static को क्या बोल सकते हैं guys आप? We can say that is the class function. Instance we can say the non-static. Okay, these are the two types of methods used in Java programming. Now see what is the syntax of the method. How we can create the methods in our Java programming. What is the syntax for creating the method? Syntax of method. Now access modifier, then return type, okay, method name, and parenthesis. In a parenthesis we pass the argument list, या तो हम इसे कह सकते हैं, we can say that parameter list. Okay. Then method body curly braces open, close. See guys, this is the method syntax. In a method syntax, how many things is there? For the access modifier means visibility mode, visibility of that function. Then the return types mean data types. We can use there or there data types, primitive as well non-primitive. Both types of data types we can take for the methods. The next like a method name. So, method name. Always method name should be a verb like. Okay. Means it shows the some activities. It is not a noun guys. Mostly we use as a verb type. Then parameters. When we use the argument list, we pass their variables, some values in the form of arrays, strings, and primitive types, non-primitive also. Okay, both types of data types value we can pass as a argument, guys. There we can pass the objects, also we can pass there or there arrays also. Then the method body, guys. Curly braces open and close. See, this is the method body. Within a method body, we can write our logic. अब जो भी whatever we are returning the logic within the method body, guys. When those logic will get executed, when we call that particular method in our program, then the logic of that function is executed by the JVM, guys. Now you are getting the syntax of a method: access modifier, return type, method name, argument list, we can say as a parameter list. What is meant by access modifier? Okay, which are the access modifiers used in our Java program? Mostly four types of access modifiers used in Java programming: public, private, protected, and default. If we are not using any modifiers for declaring variables and functions, then by default, which modifier is there active? Default modifier is active. And what are the roles of, what are the specifications? What is the visibility of default modifier? Default modifiers is used within the same package, guys. Okay. And public means it is a publicly for everyone of that project. Every packages are used. And private means within a, that class body only. That is the limited. There the visibility is limited. Public means all packages are visible, accessible for that public members of that class. Private means it is only limited for that particular class. And then protected is used within the same package and different classes also with the different packages subclass. Okay, this that is the access modifier. Access modifier. Access modifiers. Return types means, guys, return types mean there we use the primitive as well non-primitive data types. There we set the data types, means which kind of function return the value in the form of data types. Now if we are setting there int as a return type for that particular method, then that function return the integer as value as a return value. Okay. Now then next thing is a method name. Method name should be a verb and its name start in a lowercase. First letter should be a lowercase, guys. If there we in case if we use their two words for the method name, then second words first letter should be in capital, means camel case we use method name. Okay, we can't start with the numbers. Then method body, inside the method body we can write our logic, whatever we want there, that type of logic we are written inside the function. Okay, there are two types of functions: instance and static function. Now we see practically. Okay, now see guys, there is the compilation error, right? Because of where we can't write the any business logic directly inside the class body. How can we solve it? We are taking one function void m1, right? Within a function body, within a m1 method, we are returning that we are put it into inside the function body. Then there is any compilation error, guys? There is no any error is occurred because we are returned inside the method body. Okay. See, what is the syntax of method declaration, guys? How we can create the methods in Java programming? Yes, all of you. Access modifier, access modifier, access modifier, then return type, then method name, parenthesis. There we pass the argument list. Again, we can say that parameter list and method body. Okay. This one here. That is the syntax of a method creation in Java programming. Now we create a one function. Access modifier. Access modifiers means we can take one of the access modifiers for the method declaration. Public, then return type. We set as a int as a return type. Then method name. Get is the method name. Then parenthesis. There is a which thing is there? Arguments. To pass the one argument as a string value. String name is the variable name. Okay, name is the variable name. Okay, see guys, this is the our method created in Java programs with the name of a get. And why there is the error if we use a primitive return type or non-primitive return type? Then get function will return a value regarding to their return type. Then which type of return type is over there, guys? There is a int is a return type. Then it will return a integer value. Then which statement is mandatory to mention there? Over there we use the return statement. Which type of value it return? Number. Then we pass the number and then semicolon. This is the return statement. Up to which statement our get function will get executed, guys? Up to the return statements. Whatever things were written inside the get body, inside the get methods, guys, all that line of code will be executed to the return statements, up to the return statement. Now there is a number of line of code is present in the get, right, inside the get body, and those all these statements will executed up to the return statement. Last, if the cursor execution pointer reach the return statement, then the execution of that function is stopped. क्या होगा? जबकि रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा उस बॉडी का, मेथड बॉडी का, तो एग्जीक्यूशन विल बी स्टॉप and return the value to the caller function, right? Can we write any statement after the return statement, guys? We are trying to write something after the return statement of the function. Hello. Now there is the compilation error, unreachable code, because we can't write any code after the return statement. Can we write? No, we can't write any statement after the return statement in a method body, guys. If we are trying to write the any code after the return statement, then there is the compilation error. Which kind of compilation error? Unreachable code. जैसे कि हमारे एग्जाम का टाइम होता है ना 9 to 12, 12 के बाद हम पेपर दे सकते हैं क्या, गाइस? एग्जाम टाइम इज लिमिटेड एट टू 12 PM. तो 12 PM के बाद हम एग्जाम दे सकते हैं क्या? नहीं दे सकते. सेम एज इट इज, जैसे कि रिटर्न इज द लास्ट स्टेटमेंट इन द method body. Return statement is a last statement in a method body. Before the return statement, we can we can be implement any kind of a logic before the return statement. After the return statement हम कोई भी स्टेटमेंट नहीं लिख सकते। अगर लिखेंगे भी तो क्या होगा, वहां पे कंपाइलेशन एरर आएगी, क्योंकि वो कोड एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होगा, उस रीच ही नहीं होगा, क्योंकि उसका एंड कहाँ हो रहा है, रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट तक ही हो रहा है, उसका एग्जीक्यूशन हो पाएगा, उसके बाद वो रीच नहीं होगा, अनरीचेबल कोड आफ्टर द रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट। गेटिंग दिस पॉइंट? ओके, नाउ सी what is the return. Now another thing about the return statement. Returns means the function having a some logic, yes, and we are giving a primitive, yeah, non-primitive as a return type for that function. Then that function will return a value according to that return type. Means whatever logic written inside the body, all logics will get executed, and after that, that function will return us some result in the form of by using the return statement. अगर हमें return value नहीं होनी है from the function, if we don't want the return value from a function, then we use at the place of a return type, we use a void as a void keyword as a return type for that function. For which function, guys? If we are not having any return value from the function, in that case we use a void as a return type for a function. अगर हमें return value नहीं होनी है, we don't want a return value from the function. अब इस get function से हमें कोई return value नहीं चाहिए, तो then we set return type as a void. When we set the return type as a void, then it doesn't nothing return any result. Okay, any value, get nothing return any value, because its data type is a return type is a void. Agar in case of want a result, return result, then we set any primitive or the non-primitive data types there over there, right? Getting that one? Now, if we are using a void as a return type for a get function, then there is not necessary to mention the return statement in the method body. If we use at the place of a return type, if we use at the place of return type primitive, non-primitive, then in that case, return statement is necessary. Which is necessary? Which statement? Return statement is necessary. If we are passing their non-primitive string, okay, then there is a compilation error. Okay, what kind of compilation is there? This method must return a result of which type? String type. It is returning a result with type? String type, because we are set the return type as a, we are taking string as a return type. यहाँ पे which statement is necessary after the statement return statement. Return which type of value is will return? String type. Then we pass any string value. Okay, this is a access modifier. The return type, get is a method name, and string name is a argument. We can pass over there multiple arguments, guys. Multiple variables we can pass there. There is no limit to pass the variables. We can pass more than 10 to 20. Okay, any kind of variables, kind of list we can pass over there. Then which type of this variable, guys? String name. Which kind of this variable? This is the local variable, because it is created at a method. It is created in the method signature. Okay, this is the syntax of method creation in Java programming. Access modifier, return type, method name, argument list, then method body. Within the method body, we can develop any kind of a logic. Now next is a method signature. What is meant by method signature? Which things are included in a method signature? Method, method signature. Method name, method name and argument list. Then method body. Okay. See, in a method signature, method name and argument list. Only this part of method signature. In method syntax, access modifier, return type, method name, argument list, all these parts are included in the method syntax. But in a method signature, when we say method signature, what is the method signature of a get function? See, this is the method signature of the get function. Method name and argument list. There is this part is not included in the method signature. Access modifier and return type. Getting this point, guys? Okay. See, types of the methods. There are two types of methods: instance and static. Say how we use it in our program. Instance means without the static keyword. How we can declare the function? Now, access modifier, public, return type, int, method name, get, parameters, int a, and method body. Okay, see, this method is the non-static method. It is the instance method. Why? Yes, guys, why this method is non-static? Non-static because absence of a static keyword. Now, how we can declare the static function? By using the static keyword. Int method name is a do. Here we use any kind of character. See, this is the static function. Static method, because of we use the static keyword at the declaration of a method, at the creation of a method. During the creation of method, we use the for the static keyword. Then see, these are the two types of functions in our Java programming. This is a non-static and this one is the static function. In non-static, there is absence of a static keyword. There is no static keyword is used. But when we want to static function, then we use a static keyword during the declaration. Okay. So now static belong to the class. तो किसके साथ belong करता है? It is belong to the class. When class is loaded, then the static functions will be loaded into the memory. Okay, static functions is loaded into the class memory. Okay, instance belong to the object. It's belong to the object. When memory will wait for the instance when the object is created. Okay, what is the difference between instance and statics? Statics is created only once, means its copy is created once and that is shareable to the all of or throughout the class. Instance for every object. Okay, see guys, what is a class? Class is a blueprint by which we can create a multiple objects. We can create a object. Class has a state and a behavior. Class has a state and behavior. State is shows in the form of variables, instance variables and static. Okay, now instance variable. And how class exposes his behavior, guys? It exposes the behavior in the form of a verb, in the form of a methods, in the form of a method. Who exposes the behavior of a class? Methods exposes the behavior of the class. And how we can show the state of that class? By the object. Okay, object shows the state of that class in the form of the variables. Now we create one class. Now see, this test is our class, right? Test has a state and behaviors. Every class having a state and behavior. State and behavior. Okay, class having a state and a behavior. State, how this state, it shows, it's shown of a test class in the form of an object, in the form of instance variables. Variables shows the state of that class, instance. And now how the behaviors of a class is exposed through the methods, through the methods. Now see, our class employees, wait 1 minute. Wait. Okay, every class having the state and behavior. Okay, state means in the form of the variables, instance variables. Now behaviors, it shows the behavior is in the form of the methods. Behavior exposes, variable exposes the state of that class, and methods exposes the behavior of that class, means which kind of activities is done in that class. Okay, means see guys, a student is a class. Student name, roll number, student color, student blood group. Okay, these are the state of that student. Okay, student is a class, and student states are name, height, weight, color. Okay, these are the states of that particular student. And behaviors means it is talking, it is walking, eating, learning. Okay, reading. These are the behaviors of that students, particular students. Student is a class now. Then how we can expose the states and behavior? States we can in the form of a variables, and behaviors in the form of a methods. Okay. Then methods are used in Java program for what purpose? For writing the logics. When those logics will get executed, when we call that particular function. Okay, there are two types of methods in Java programming: static and non-static. Static with the static keywords, without the static keyword, those functions are non-static functions. Okay, statics belong to the class, non-static belong to the object. Okay, both the functions we can call in our class through the directly the name by object name by class name. How? We'll see. Now, see, this is the right M1. Which kind of this function, guys? This is a non-static, right? Because there is no we use static. Non-static. Okay. Now, second method we declare Okay, that is the static method. Okay, we are created the two methods in our Java program. One is the non-static, second one is the static. Okay. Can we execute this program without the main function? No, we can't execute the without the main function. We have to create a main function because our execution starts from the main function. प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूशन कहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है गाइस? फ्रॉम द मेन फंक्शन. इट्स नेसेसरी इन द क्लास बॉडी. Now, so how many ways we can call the non-static field in Java program, guys? In a two ways. In the same area, and directly we can call it by its name in the same area, and in different area means in a static field, how we can call it? By the object name. See, we call a m1 function from the main. Which is the nature of the main function, guys? Static is the nature of a main function. Which kind of this main function? Static function. So can we call a m1 function directly from a main function? No, because the main function is a static. Yes, our Java program divided into two areas. One is a non-static and static. Static and non-static areas in Java programs. Okay, so m1 function is called from the static field, static area. So it is possible directly to call m1 function. It is not possible to directly call. Can we call a m2 directly? Yes, we can call it directly. Yes, because it is a static. Throughout the class, we can use it anywhere. There is no for any restrictions for the static members of the class. But for whom? For the non-static fields, there is some restrictions. So how we can call it? Okay, by creating the object of a class. How to create an object of class? Class name, reference variable name is equal to then the class name and parentheses. Now we create the object of the class. This object we created of the test class, and if in a heap memory will be allocated for the object related with all members loaded into the heap. Reference variable is stored into the stack. Now by using the t1 name, t1 dot m, this will be called the non-static field from a static. M2 directly we can call it. See, execute this program with the output. What is the output? This is a non-static field and this is a static field. In which way we call it? Firstly, हमने किससे call किया? First we call the m1 function, then second we call the m2 function. That sequence, the output will come on the console. In that sequence, we waited the output on the console. Okay. Sequence
Hello.
wise. Yes.
Hello. So I have one question.
Yes.
Without a main method, we cannot print a output in the console? Static and non-static method.
Yes, we can, but by using the static blocks, we can call the functions and print the result on the console. But our execution starts from the main function. We can call it from a constructor by using the instance block and static block also. Now we see through the main function. Okay. Yes, that is possible. We can call it without the main function. There is no issue. Okay. See, there are the two types of functions, non-static and static. This way we can use it, write the programs and execute. Take a screenshot of this program, guys. Complete. See, by using the functions means the code which is used again and again in our program. The function is, once function is created, and those logics will we can use again and again by calling that function name. Okay, function is used for a reuse. We can implement for the reuse. Okay, means some of the logics are used again and again in our program. That kind of a logic we can write one in a function, one of the function body, and we can call whenever we require that function logic. Okay, we call that function name and we use the logic of that function in our logic. मीन्स कभी होता है ना कि अगेन एंड अगेन हमें सेम लॉजिक इंप्लीमेंट करना है हमारे प्रोग्राम में, यूज करना है, तो वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, कोड रिडंडेंसी हो रही है, हर टाइम हम सेम डुप्लीकेट कोड लिख रहे हैं। तो उसे अवॉइड करने के लिए हम मेथड्स का यूज कर सकते हैं। एक मेथड बना दो, we are created one particular function and in that function body we are implement the repeated logic, means those logics are repeatedly used in our program. Once कोई functions बना दो, within that function body we are implemented that and reuse that function whenever we write in our logic, guys, right? So function is a special type of a block, एक स्पेशल टाइप का ब्लॉक है अपने क्लास का, एंड दोस दैट ब्लॉक इज यूज्ड टू राइट द लॉजिक्स। उसका यूज किसके लिए करते हैं हम गाइस, फॉर राइटिंग अ लॉजिक। वो लॉजिक कब एग्जीक्यूट होगा, व्हेन वी कॉल द फंक्शन। ओके, नाउ टेल मी गाइस, यू हैव एनी क्वेरी? What is the syntax of a function? Access modifier, return type, method name, parameter list, method body.
Sir, one doubt. Return type is integer and argument passing is string. It is possible.
Yes, no problem. You can set any kind of return
But
type
sir,
and we can.
return type means जो return करता है वही ना.
हाँ, yes, return types means in case of that there we
But
use
argument से उसका कोई
कोई
relation
रिलेशन नहीं होता है।
Okay.
Means जो भी
Thank
आर्गुमेंट, कोई भी आर्गुमेंट हम पास कर सकते हैं, नंबर ऑफ आर्गुमेंट्स।
Okay.
ओके, यहाँ पे अगर इफ वी आर यूजिंग एनी रिटर्न टाइप अगर यूज कर रहे हैं हम, प्रिमिटिव या तो नॉन प्रिमिटिव, देन वी स्टेटमेंट इज नेसेसरी, तो रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट इज नेसेसरी। इस टाइप ऑफ वैल्यू रिटर्न इंटीजर। नाउ here we pass the argument, then at the time of the calling, while calling the m1 function, we have to pass the value regarding to the type of a variable. This type of variables हमने पास किया, argument value पास की, यहाँ पे string type variable,
String.
तो यहाँ पे हमें string value पास करनी है उसके। ओके, अगर वहाँ पे integer type of data होगा या फिर argument होगा तो int value पास
Okay.
करनी होगी।
Okay. Okay.
Whether we
Thank you,
can,
sir.
yes, now we can take a more variable also. So we pass second value integer, one as Java application. Results and ओके, यहाँ तक तो ठीक है गाइस, अब कोई डाउट नहीं है। हम देखेंगे कि आप रिटर्न वैल्यू जो होती है ना, इसे किस तरीके से प्रिंट करते हैं। वी कैन प्रिंट द रिटर्न वैल्यू।
Hello.
yes.
Sir, after returns word, we can put 0, 1, 2, 3, any kind of number.
Yeah, मीन्स यहाँ पे डिपेंड्स ऑन रिटर्न टाइप.
Okay.
इंटीजर टाइप 0 to 9 नंबर्स पे भी रिटर्न कर सकता है. ओके, कोई भी मतलब डिपेंड करता है कि हमें रिटर्न which value we have to want to return.
Okay.
यहाँ पे क्या 100 होनी है तो 100 लगा दो, या तो कोई एक रिजल्ट आ रहा है यहाँ पे हो रहा है, जैसे कि नाउ देयर इज अ वेरिएबल्स a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20.
Right.
Now int sum of two numbers is equal to a plus b. Then अगर यहाँ से रिटर्न होना तो हम यहाँ पे हम रिटर्न कर देंगे. ओके, इस एडिशन ऑफ टू नंबर्स हमें रिटर्न वैल्यू होनी है m1 फंक्शन से, तो यहाँ पे लिख दिया हमने वेरिएबल लिख दिया. ओके, तो इससे क्या हो जाएगा कि हमें एडिशन कहाँ से रिटर्न हो, रिजल्ट कहाँ से रिटर्न हो जाएगा, रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट से रिटर्न. अब ये वाला जो एडिशन ऑफ टू नंबर्स आया है रिजल्ट, ये कंसोल पे प्रिंट होगा क्या गाइस? नहीं होगा, क्योंकि हमने उसे प्रिंट ही नहीं किया ना, वो ही देखना है. There is okay, here we pass the two argument values. Then there is only one argument. This is non-static method and this is a static method. Okay. एडिशन ऑफ टू नंबर्स का रिजल्ट आया था गाइस? ओके, नहीं आया. तो हमें अभी देखना है कि हाउ वी कैन प्रिंट द रिटर्न वैल्यू ऑफ अ फंक्शन. अब रिटर्न वैल्यू है ना, रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट, रिटर्न जो फंक्शन है, कोई भी फंक्शन अगर रिटर्न वैल्यू कर रही है तो वो रिटर्न द हैंड ओवर द वैल्यू any function. Now see, we are taking one function int get. Okay, get function return a 100 value. Okay, 100 number is returned by the get function. Which kind of a return? Return the result by the get function guys. Its return type is an integer. Then it will return the this type of value. The return it's a number value. Okay, it return the 100. So how we can print this 100 value on a console guys? हमें इसे प्रिंट करवाना है कंसोल पे. तो हाउ वी कैन प्रिंटेड इट ऑन अ कंसोल? अभी किसे रिटर्न करेंगे? गेट फंक्शन टू होम रिटर्न द रिजल्ट. किसे रिटर्न करेंगे? नाउ सी गाइस, आकाश है, आकाश को हमने मार्केट में कुछ लेने के लिए कुछ पैसे दिए, राइट? वी आर गिविंग देम सम मनी टू परचेज समथिंग फ्रॉम द मार्केट. ओके, जो भी चीज लानी थी उसने ले ली, और जो भी पैसे बचे हैं, ओके, वो किसे लाके दे दिया? हमें लाके दे दिया आकाश ने. क्यों? क्योंकि हमने उसे भेजा था आकाश को मार्केट में. तो जो भी बचा हुआ रिमेनिंग मनी था वो किसे दिया? उसने हमें लाके दिया, राइट? तो अब गेट फंक्शन है तो वो रिटर्न किसे करेंगे वैल्यू? हम उसे जहां से कॉल करेंगे. नाउ वी आर कॉलिंग इट फ्रॉम द मेन फंक्शन. देन इट विल रिटर्न तो किसे रिटर्न करेंगे रिजल्ट? मेन फंक्शन को रिटर्न करेगा. गेट फंक्शन रिटर्निंग द वैल्यू टू द मेन फंक्शन बिकॉज मेन इज द कॉलर फंक्शन. मेन इज द कॉलर फंक्शन. Get will return the result to the main. So how we can use it in our programs? किस टाइप वाला रिटर्न रिजल्ट कर रहा है गेट फंक्शन? Which type of value it return? Integer type. Then we create one integer variable and store that result into that variable. या तो return value. Return value is equal to, okay. Get function को call होगा. From here call to the get function. Cursor कहाँ आएगा? Inside the get function. Okay. Get function, whatever code is present there, all that code will get executed, and after the generated return result it gives to the home main function, and that return result we can in the form of a variable. Which variable? Integer variable, because it returning the integer value. Okay, so and want to print on a console the entire intelligence and name of the variable. Return. Okay, see the output. Hundred. Okay, जो भी रिटर्न वैल्यू किया था किसने? गेट फंक्शन में, उसे हमने कंसोल पे प्रिंट कर दिया. अब नाउ गाइस यहाँ पे ना दो तीन फंदे होते हैं. नाउ सेम हम इन्हें से डायरेक्टली भी प्रिंट कर सकते हैं, जैसे कि SYS गेट फंक्शन. यहाँ से भी रिटर्न है ना, 2 टाइम्स आप रिटर्न आ जाएगा कंसोल पे, क्योंकि एक टू द वेरिएबल्स किया हमने डायरेक्टली कर दिया. 100 यहाँ से भी क्या हो जाएगा, हमारा रिजल्ट 100 आ जाएगा, डायरेक्टली कंसोल पे प्रिंट हो जाएगा. यहाँ से भी हमें क्या मिलेगा? 100 मिलेगा डायरेक्टली. बट अभी जो आया हुआ रिजल्ट है ना, हम इसे हमारे लॉजिक में यूज कर सकते हैं क्या गाइस? ये तो कंसोल पे प्रिंट हो जा रहा है. कैन वी यूज इट इन आवर इन नेक्स्ट लॉजिक? हम इसे यूज कर सकते हैं हमारे कोई दूसरे लॉजिक में? नहीं यूज करते. कभी ना कोई कंडीशन होती है कि कोई सिनेरियो होता है कि रिटर्न रिजल्ट जो भी है फंक्शन का, वो नेक्स्ट लॉजिक में यूज करना है. We are using that return value in our next logic, not some another logic. Then how we can use that? हमें तो उसे क्या करना होगा? एक वेरिएबल में स्टोर करना होगा. We are storing that return value into the variable, and variables are used in our program, in our logic. Variable को हम reuse कर सकते हैं in our program, right? We did that. रिटर्निंग रिजल्ट किसमें स्टोर कर दिया? एक वेरिएबल में स्टोर कर दिया, राइट? अब रिटर्न वैल्यू है ना, हम इसे यूज कर सकते हैं हमारे लॉजिक. नाउ वी आर इंप्लीमेंटिंग अनदर लॉजिक. जैसे कि आपने बना दिया कि b इज इक्वल टू 200, तो हमें इसकी एडिशन करनी है. ऐड ऑफ टू नंबर्स इज इक्वल टू, यहाँ पे बना दिया हमने b प्लस रिटर्न. रिटर्न आ रही है रिटर्न वैल्यू. ओके, सेमीकोलन. अब जो रिटर्न वैल्यू थी हमारी, हमने उसे भी यूज कर रहे हैं हमारे लॉजिक में. We are storing it into the variables, and that variable will be used in our next logic. यहाँ पे सम एडिशन क्या होगा? 300 आएगा रिजल्ट. जैसे कि यहाँ पे लगा देते हैं एडिशन विथ रिटर्न वैल्यू. इसमें स्टोर किया उसका हमने रिजल्ट. यहाँ पे आउटपुट क्या आ जाएगा गाइस? हमारा 200 प्लस 100 सीधे आउटपुट. Addition with return value is 300. कब करते हैं गाइस, हम हमें ना कोई रिटर्न वैल्यू आ रही है, कोई फंक्शन से रिटर्न वैल्यू हो रही है, हम रिटर्न वैल्यू है ना, रिटर्न रिजल्ट हमें हमारे नेक्स्ट लॉजिक में यूज करना है। तो उस टाइम में हमें ना डायरेक्टली हम उसे प्रिंट करते कोई मतलब नहीं। वो उससे हम एक पर्टिकुलर वेरिएबल में जिस टाइप की वो वैल्यू रिटर्न कर रही है फंक्शन, उसी टाइप का एक वेरिएबल बनाना होगा और उस वेरिएबल में वो वैल्यू स्टोर होगी। Okay, assignment. Then that variable we can multiple times we can use in our logic. Okay, getting this, take a screenshot.
Hello.
Yes.
I have one question, sir.
Yes.
Instead of writing variable return underscore value name, we can put it at A, B, or C, any kind of alphabet or.
Yes. Yes. Any kind of alphabets you can put it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But we are making any variable. When we make any variables in our program, we use any variables. Then we can use a name of variable as a particular regarding to that class name, that operations, that लॉजिक वाइज। जैसे कि
Okay.
हमें स्टूडेंट के लिए प्रोग्राम बना रहेगा इसमें, जैसे कि स्टूडेंट को क्या होता है कि रोल नंबर होता है, डिवीजन होती है, तो वेरिएबल के नाम है ना,
Yes. Yes.
उस तरीके से हमें देना, मतलब यूज करना होता है फॉर द बेटर अंडरस्टैंड ग्रेडेबल करना है। ले लिया सभी ने स्क्रीनशॉट? Okay. Now want to declare one static variable, static function in yeah. Next function is a now created the variables. Int a is equal to 10. A is equal to 20. Static variables. So now we are passing argument int a. So sy and print the result value of a variable guys. Call m1 function from a main. Now there is a compilation. Why? Because m1 has a argument. Then we pass the value according to that data type of the variables, argument variable. So which kind of, there is a integer, then we pass the 100. So give me answer guys. What is the answer there? What is the output of that line?
100.
100.
Okay. We have with the same name. This variable we have argument. 10 नहीं आएगा क्या कोई प्रॉब्लम? That is the answer. Because Jevin will check at the compilation all the variables loaded into the memory. Yes, A with the value 10, B with the 20, C with the 30, D with the 40. Okay, then we pass the arguments. When that value is stored into the memory, when we call the M1 function. During the execution of the M1 function, 100 is assigned to the a variable. So both variables are distinct variables. This variable is an instance variable, and this is the local variable. Both are the distinct variable, right? During the execution time, execution pointer will check when we got the result on the console. Then the JVM will check this a variable, which type of this variable. This variable's value is printed from the instance, या तो from the local variable. So first priority किसे जाएगा? Its first priority goes to the local variable. If you are using the variable name same with the same name, अगर number of variables with the same name, some of among that there is an instance and static and local variables. The first priority goes to the local variable first. तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी किसे मिलेगी? यहाँ पे अगर हम रिजल्ट प्रिंट कर रहे हैं ए वेरिएबल का, यहाँ वो इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल ए का रिजल्ट नहीं प्रिंट करेगा, वो फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी किसे देगा? लोकल वेरिएबल के लिए. Now but I want to both the result, instance as well local. Then we use which keyword guys? This keyword. This is a first class reference. This keyword is a reference variable of a class which point to the instance variable of that class. First is a object of that class. Reference means is it by default we can say that that is the object. This is keyword used to point to the instance variable. यहाँ पे आप अगर हमने लिखा दिया this dot a, अब एक किसे पॉइंट करेंगे guys? Okay, which is not used within the static. Okay, this is an instance of a class. This is an instance of a test class. Then we point to the members of that class. Now, what is the result of this line? Then 10 is the result because it points to the this variable. Okay. Then is Java application. I'm not make a static response. Okay. फंक्शन हमने कॉल कर दिया है ना, स्टैटिक का चलो आप रेफरेंस नहीं कर पा रहे तो a1 is equal to the name of the what is the result? 110. Okay, we got 100 from the local variable and 10 result we got it from instance variable. Okay, can we use for these static variables? Guys, this dot c. Yes. Static members we call three ways: directly its name, by class name, and object name. This is an instance. It is the reference variable of this class. So यहाँ से static इसको भी call कर सकते हैं. In case, अब वो तो हुआ instance के बारे में. Now, in case it is similar with the static variable. Now here we pass the two values, 100 and 200. What is the result here? What is the output guys? 200 आएगा कि 30 आएगा? Yes, the result is 200 because first priority goes to the local variable. 30 is the result. By using the these, yeah, okay. Directly we use the C. see the result 200. We are getting a 200 result. यहाँ पे भी क्या होगा, जब हम फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी किसको देगा गाइस, फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी गोस टू द लोकल वेरिएबल का जो भी वैल्यू रहेगा उसे वो प्रिंट करेंगे, यहाँ पे 200 आएगा. बट आई वांट टू रिजल्ट फ्रॉम अ स्टैटिक वेरिएबल, देन distinguish by using the this keyword, this dot c. अब रिजल्ट क्या आएगा, आप इसको विद 30. ओके 30 आ रहा है बाय यूजिंग द दिस. अब कब हमें यूज करना है दिस, इन विच कंडीशंस, आपको लोगों को तो पता ही चल रहा होगा कि जबकि लोकल वेरिएबल नेम is similar with the instance of static variables, and we are getting the printed the result on a console. Then we use this keyword guys, वो डिस्टिंग करने के लिए. जैसे कि फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी बाय डिफॉल्ट किसे जाएंगी, जेवीएम की हमारा एग्जीक्यूशन ऑर्डर किसे एग्जीक्यूट कर देगा, बाय डिफॉल्टली लोकल वेरिएबल को. हमें ना यहाँ पे किसका रिजल्ट चाहिए था गाइस, यहाँ पे हमें ए प्रिंट करना है, कहाँ से 10 वैल्यू वाला. बट जेवीएम उस तरीके से करेगा क्या, नहीं, वो किसे देगा फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी, लोकल वेरिएबल को. तो जो भी लोकल वेरिएबल की वैल्यू रहेगी वो रिजल्ट कंसोल पे प्रिंट होगा. अगर हमें किसका रिजल्ट होना है, इंस्टेंस का, तो देन वी यूज द हाउ टू डिस्टिंग. जेवीएम को किस तरीके से हम पता करेंगे, उन्हें कहेंगे कि भाई हमें इंस्टेंस का रिजल्ट चाहिए, तो देन वी यूज द दिस कीवर्ड, दिस डॉट ए मींस किसे पॉइंट करेंगे, फिर इस वैल्यू को पॉइंट करेंगे, इज इक्वल टू 10. तो समझ में आया गाइस, एनी डाउट? when we use this, आगे भी बहुत सारे यूज है दिस के. now see the first use of the this keyword, when the local variable name and instance and static variables are same with the same name, then we use these to distinguish the variables. Okay, yes guys.